Maree Clarke has been one of Melbourne's most dynamic multidisciplinary artists, working across photography, sculpture, jewellery, video, glass and more. The new exhibition, Ancestral Memories, covers more than 3 decades of her work and makes her the first living Victorian Aboriginal artist to have a solo exhibition at the NGV.
Wow. So we're in your amazing backyard studio.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on here. What materials do you have on the table?
Well, over here we've got some kangaroo jaws with the kangaroo tooth still in there.
Yeah.
And then another collection of quandong seeds that I'm preparing to dye over here. Kangaroo teeth.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow, look at this one. That would pop.
I'll take that actually.
And then here we have echidna quills, like thousands of echidna quills. One day I was coming back from Albury Wodonga. There were 2 dead echidnas on the freeway. I drove home, got the Waco esky, drove back another 120 k's back up the freeway to pick up the 2 dead echidnas, brought them back, boiled them up in this big pot.
Yeah.
And Nicholas helped get all the quills out.
Yeah. You know, our ancestors used animals in that way, that nothing was wasted.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a beautiful
And we're
honouring
trying
of
to do that too, like nothing is wasted. We just cannot drive past roadkill because that's the next body of work somewhere down the track.
Your practice is so dynamic. You work with photography, video, quills, teeth.
I know.
How do you sort of choose the medium for the work that you're wanting to create?
Well, I guess it's whatever is happening with the 3D printed jewellery and using these really bright colours that will just pop. It's also thinking about what other people will appreciate and wear. But everything that I do is really based on traditional body adornments and bringing it into the 21st century, I think, and making it accessible for people to wear.
You've done a lot of research in museums. How have the ancestor objects, these historical, objects, influenced your work?
There are so many different objects and items held in those collections that all of these stories need to be told outside of the museum. And I'd just like to try and think of new ways to tell those old stories through art.
How would you describe a possum skin cloak to someone that doesn't know?
I would describe a possum skin cloak to be an essential item that everybody in the southeast of Australia would have worn back in the day. But I was lucky enough to be involved in a project on the revival of possum skin cloak making for the opening ceremony of the Commonwealth Games. And so now cloaks are being used back in community for baby naming days, for ceremony, for funerals. And in my own family, when Len Tregonning passed away, I had a possum skin cloak made for him for his 60th birthday. And when he passed, I had family and friends come around and we marked the cloak. And then I went into the funeral home and I wrapped him in his cloak. And I think considering there are only 6 historical cloaks left in the world, so it's, bringing these practices back that haven't been practiced for quite some time.
Yeah. What's a bit of the process for you in creating a possum skin cloak?
Well, the cloaks, I think, along with the rest of my practice, is about sharing that cultural knowledge and practice and information with my family. So, like here in my backyard, we've made several cloaks for lots of different people.
So it's this beautiful revival, but it's actually bringing people and community together.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So Maree, we're in the presence of ancestors and in the presence of your beautiful new cloak. And here, we have the cloak from 1853 from the Yorta Yorta people, our people. What does it mean for you to be seeing your work alongside the ancestor cloak?
Wow. I think it's absolutely incredible. It looks beautiful. Like, I love how contemporary mine is, but it's still maps of country with all the different countries that I'm connected to. And mine is almost like a topographical map too, to represent waterways and ceremony with the red ochres. And I hadn't even noticed this before when I've been in here, but to see the reflection of country on the cloak is just fantastic. So I'll have to come back and photograph that, I think.
Yeah.
Because my work is around researching these material cultural items held in museum collections and then turning that research into art. And so you can see it alongside each other and see that it's 60,000 plus years of making, creating and designing all in space, you know. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's important to note that you are the first living Victorian Aboriginal artist to have a solo show with the National Gallery of Victoria. How do you feel about that?
No pressure, but it's huge.
Yeah.
When I came in before the exhibition opened to the public, I burst into tears. Yeah, because there's over 30 years of memory and history in this space. It's pretty amazing.
It is. It's groundbreaking. What's next, do you think?
Yeah, I think collaborating with younger generations and, you know, sharing knowledge and skills and ideas, not just thinking about now, today, or the next 5 years. You're thinking about 100 years' time and what legacy you're leaving for those future generations. And that's a huge responsibility, you know, like huge. So I've got to get it right.
I think you are.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
I think you are.